Man, these modern women are a special brand of spoiled.
Now available for the first time in paperback, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. Learn all the reasons why so many Black women can't find a husband and why 70% of Black women are single. Get your copy of Why 70% of Black Women Are Single on Amazon.com today.
Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue. A black woman in a viral video says a first date at the Cheesecake Factory isn't good enough for her.
Let me just get the door for you.
Okay. He got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this car. Yes.
Would you want me to open the door for you?
Look.
Are you're recording me?
Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
You want to talk about it? I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Come on, get up on in the car. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Oh, okay.
Okay. So
Yes, let's talk about it. About it.
So you expect a man to go all out on the first date? Is that right?
I mean, you're supposed to. When you take out a beautiful woman and you're courting her, because I get courted. So you're courting her, right? You're supposed to take care of her. You're supposed to cover her. You're supposed to protect her, cherish her, treat her well, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I agree. I went into this date as I expect, with the expectations for myself, to keep you safe, to respect you, to pay for your food, of course, pick you up, of course, and just treat you like a gentleman, which I believe I have done.
I mean, you've been pretty nice, but
and then
Cheesecake Factory.
I, on the other hand, have certain expectations for a girl I go out with on the first date. I expect her to be respectful too. I expect her to be cooperative, and at least
what did I do that wasn't cooperative?
Well, I mean, even when we were walking to the car, you wouldn't put your hand around my arm or anything like that, or hold my hand or anything like that.
I mean, it's too early for that.
Okay.
I don't know you.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
Okay.
When I got to your apartment to pick you up, you didn't want to invite me in. I can respect that too. We're not
I don't
we're not
know
there
yet.
Okay.
I don't know yet.
And then, but
I mean, I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do as a woman.
But
I got myself all made up.
There's nothing wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yes, there's a lot wrong with the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay, well look at my planner where we were gonna go originally.
See, now that's where we should have went. All right there. Call him.
No.
What do you mean no?
See, I specifically told you both yesterday and this morning that I'd come to pick you up at 4 p.m. Right? And I got to your place at 4 p.m. You didn't even come downstairs for another hour, and so I was waiting downstairs for an hour. Right?
But I wasn't expecting for work to take me so long. I got home a little late, and like I said, I don't know you well enough to invite you up into my apartment, and that is not possible.
And that's why I'm saying, I'm thinking, okay, if we're not there in the relationship to meet at your apartment, then maybe we're not ready in a relationship for such a nice fancy restaurant as Aria, especially if I'm paying for the whole thing, which I'm still willing to do. I would have been, but if we're late, I mean, I told you
weren't
twice.
late. It wasn't that late.
We literally left your place at the time the reservation was supposed to be. And I specifically said 4 because maybe we could get there early and even have some time to get to know each other on the way there and while we're in the parking lot.
I mean,
And waiting for a reservation.
we can still get to know each other. Isn't there another restaurant you can call that, like, the equivalent to that? I mean,
I literally
you don't
just said-
understand. Look at me. I cannot go in the Cheesecake Factory.
There's nothing wrong with
I will die. That's
Okay.
embarrassing.
Listen, as I said, I have very specific certain expectations for that.
No.
I can tell it's not gonna be there. And maybe we're not right for each other. So respectfully, I'm gonna just drop you off at home.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Yeah, I'm up.
So, you just want to call it a night? I mean,
Yeah.
isn't there some kind of compromise or something? Ladies, can you believe this?
I'm sorry, y'all.
He just pulled
but-
out of the parking space.
If I don't feel
Can you
respected,
see?
I am not gonna go through with the rest of the day.
Well, I mean, you are serious. You're really leaving.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't want this place anyway, right?
I mean, I understand that I was late. I understand that. I understand that I could have been a bit more cooperative. You made some good points. That's why I'm willing to compromise. Are you sure you want to go home?
I don't have a lot of rules. I don't have a lot of expectations for a first date, but I've already set them, and you've broken every one.
Oh
So
my God.
I'm sorry. We're dropping you off home.
All right, whatever. Well, I mean, I guess I understand. You gotta do what you gotta do. I understand where you're coming from.
Now, in this viral video that I have presented, this black woman who is out on a date with what looks to be an Indian or Hispanic man is upset because this man had the audacity to take her to the Cheesecake Factory. Now, as this man is parking his vehicle in the parking lot and looking to go out on his date, this is where this black woman wants to get an attitude and decides to put on her phone and start recording a video complaining about this man taking her to the Cheesecake Factory. Now, as this man is still trying to show this woman some sort of chivalry and respect by getting the door for her, this is where she starts to go out here and become belligerent, insisting that she is not going to leave his car. And as this man goes back into his vehicle to try to figure out what her problem is, this is where she starts to go out here and starts to complain to him about having been taken to the Cheesecake Factory. Now, as this woman goes out here and vents her frustrations about being taken to the Cheesecake Factory, she complains that this man had the nerve to take her to a chain restaurant, and then goes on to say that this is not a venue that is acceptable for her for a first date, and then goes on and talks about how this man is supposed to be courting her, and talking about how this man needs to go out here and protect and cover her, and goes on to further make more demands regarding this man. Now, what's really disturbing about this entire incident is that while this woman goes on and complains about this man going out here and being this guy as related to a courtship, she then talks about, again, as related to protecting and covering, does not show this man any sort of respect at all. Now, this man basically went out here and waited for an hour waiting for her, and as he waited for over an hour, he sat there patiently waiting for her to get ready, and then as he's waiting for her to get ready, he then drives her to this location, and instead of showing this man gratitude for taking her to the Cheesecake Factory, which is a very expensive restaurant, she comes out with this whole sense of entitlement and basically disrespects this man. Now, when I took a critical look at this video, it basically proves a major point that is made about these swirlers. Again, a lot of the swirlers want to say that, oh, these white and non-black men are better, but we see that they have the same contempt that they have for a black man in this video. Now, as this woman shows her contempt for this man, she basically shows that she has this whole sense of entitlement that I go in depth on in my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, that leads to many black women being single. And that sense of entitlement has her having a completely distorted view of what relationships are supposed to be like, and that completely distorted picture of what she believes relationships are supposed to be like has her believing that she is supposed to be out here receiving things that she really doesn't deserve. Now, when it comes to a first date, this man basically went above and beyond as related to taking a woman out to the Cheesecake Factory, because the Cheesecake Factory is a very expensive restaurant where you got cheesecake slices that can cost as high as maybe $15 to $20, and you've got entrees that can cost anywhere from $30 to $45. So this was a very expensive restaurant for a working class guy to go out here and take a woman to, but because this woman's whole picture of dating and relationships is completely distorted, she believes that a man is supposed to take her out to a Michelin star restaurant on a first date. But that's not what a man is supposed to take a woman out on a first date at all. No, a first date basically is a meeting where both of you are just trying to get to know each other. And usually a first date is someplace like a coffee shop or a Starbucks where both of you meet and have some coffee or some hot cocoa, and you're both supposed to just sit down and talk to each other. And a first date basically for a man is one where he sees if this woman basically meets the standards as related to values and character that show him that she is somebody he should want to invest time into. That's all a first date basically is. Unfortunately, Madison Avenue and Hollywood have distorted a lot of women's perceptions of what a first date is supposed to be, and because we've got a lot of simps out here who want to call themselves making a big time first impression by spending a lot of money on a date, what these dudes will do is go out here and take and set up a reservation for one of these high-end restaurants, go out here and rent big luxury cars and take these women out for what they call a magical evening. And these guys do this because what they want to do is create a covert contract where they can hope that if this woman is so impressed, these women will possibly drop the skid mark thong and they will be able to put the carbon rod in the atomic waste reactor and get their taste of the atomic waste during some nuclear fusion. That's what most of the simps have done as related to enabling the type of entitled mindset that this woman basically has. Most of the simps basically have spoiled these types of women and made them believe that they are supposed to go out here and receive a magical evening on their first date from a guy, but in reality, a woman is not supposed to get any of this at all. No, she's not supposed to get any of this at all as related to a first date. And I will repeat it once more. A first date basically is you looking to get to know if this person is worth investing any more time into. Yes, you may like this person, but you need to see what intangibles are related to her character that will show that this is a woman worth investing time into. And this woman basically showed this man that she is not worth investing time into because this woman did not respect this man's time. And if a woman does not respect you or respect your time, then you need to go out here and cut your ties and cut your losses as related to that woman. That is something many men don't understand about the first date. The first date is not only about you making a good first impression on her, it's also about her making a good first impression on you. And if she goes out here and shows you a bad first impression, then do not feel bad about cutting your losses because this woman is showing that she is not right for you. And this woman basically showed this man that she wasn't the right one for him early on because as he arrived at her home, what this woman did was what make this man wait for over an hour inside of his car. And that's the first sign of disrespect directed at that man, because I know if I were in the exact same situation, it would be maybe 15 minutes and I would be gone. No, I'm not waiting an hour because, again, if this person does not respect my time, then I'm not going to spend any more time trying to make an investment in them. No, when somebody disrespects you as related to your time, this is where you charge them to the game, and this is where you wind up moving on, because if she respected your time, she would have said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm late, and can we reschedule? Because I understand the value of your time." And again, when women respect a man, when you say 8 o'clock, she's gonna be ready at 8 o'clock because she understands that your time is precious. And if she does not go out here and be there at 8 o'clock, then you're gonna be gone. And that's the way a man of character handles himself. He says, okay, if you cannot respect my time, then I'm not going to be dealing with you after this. But this guy, basically, because he was trying to be the kind of chivalrous kind of guy, trying to be patient with this woman, he sat there and waited for over an hour for this woman. And he waited over an hour for this woman, then decided to take her over to the Cheesecake Factory. And as she is in the parking lot, she decides to go out here and throw this tantrum. And this whole response, again, is just completely disrespectful for a first date. And this whole response basically showed this woman's whole character in that she had absolutely no respect for this man, no respect for his time, and no regard for him. And these are the things that a guy has to, again, look for as related to going out here and going out on a first date. Again, if you cannot get your respect on the first date, then there's no reason moving forward, because how you get involved with a woman is how you'll wind up in a relationship with her. And if you are starting out with disrespect, as you further continue a relationship with this woman, you will further get disrespected. And this is why a man has to understand his intangibles of manhood, such as his dignity, his self-respect, and his self-worth. Because if he doesn't understand what these concepts are, what will happen to him is that he will wind up getting disrespected the way this dude wound up getting disrespected just in the parking lot of this Cheesecake Factory. Now, as this discussion between this woman and this man go on, this man basically finds out how wretched this woman is and finds out about her completely unrealistic expectations of men in general, because she's sitting there talking about how he's supposed to be courting her, but courting and dating are two different things. And when it comes to the whole social marketplace, a man will date a woman to find out if she is worth investing the time to court, because a date is just, again, a meeting so that you can see if this woman basically meets your standards. And if that woman doesn't meet your standards, then you just charge her to the game and move on. And that's completely different from courtship. Now, a courtship is where a man goes out here and meets with the parents and goes out here and gets their approval. Moreover, it is a meeting where the woman is exclusively involved with that man for that period of time. So a courtship is different than dating, because a courtship means that the woman is going to be exclusive to that man for that period of time. It is completely different from a date, which is a casual encounter where you're just trying to figure out if this guy is one that is worth investing time in, or that woman is worth investing time in. It is not really serious. No, a date is something that is really casual. It is not something that is like a courtship. But this woman, what she has is a completely distorted picture of the way relationships work. And because she has this completely distorted picture, she's got all of these ideas about, oh, this guy is supposed to be treating me like I'm supposed to be in a courtship. But a courtship requires a commitment. And again, this man is just trying to figure out if she's worth investing the time into on a first date. But this woman's expectations, again, are completely distorted as related to reality. She's got the first date looking like it's a courtship, and she's got these expectations that this man is supposed to go out here and provide for her on a first date, and he's supposed to provide covering and all of those things. No, those things are earned by a woman showing a man that she has the values and character that he should want to invest more time into, and she has the values and character that show that she is going to be a helpmeet to a man in a relationship. That is what a woman is supposed to be doing on a date. And the whole first date is supposed to be about a woman basically showing a first impression that she can help meet the man's needs. And that's not what was shown just in the car with this man. This woman showed that she was not a woman looking to help meet the man's needs. No, she showed that she was an opportunist out to go out here and get what she could from this dude. Basically, she saw a guy who she thought she could go out here and take advantage of, and she thought that she could go out here and run some game on this Indian dude, and thought, oh, I'll be able to go out here and say to my friends, I'm dating an Indian guy, and hopefully be able to get this simp to be able to go out here and give me all the things that I can't get from Pookie and Ray Ray. And that's what this woman basically was. She's like, oh, I'm getting all dressed up for this dude, hoping that he will go out here and get caught up in the veneer of the gallon of makeup and the fancy dress. But this guy basically started to see far past the facade that she put up as related to her looks. And this woman basically showed that she was ratchet as related to her character. And as she started to show how ratchet she was as related to her character, this is where this guy wound up with a major shock from this woman's whole entitled attitude. And this entitled attitude just showed that she was one of these kind of women who was extremely ungrateful as related to the venue that this man was taking to her. Again, the Cheesecake Factory is a very expensive restaurant, and it's one that many married women would love to go to. I mean, many married women are sitting up there saying, hey, if that guy took me to Cheesecake Factory, man, that's really awesome, because the cheesecake slices there are expensive, the strawberry lemonade is expensive, and this guy, my husband, is going all out, and they're grateful for their husband going all out and taking them to the Cheesecake Factory, because that's an experience for them, and they understand that if this man is doing this, it's again because he loves her, and because she respects that this man loves her, she's going to go out here and appreciate what that man did for her. But this woman didn't appreciate a single thing that this man was doing as related to just a first date, because he went above and beyond for a first date. Because if it was me, you get basically, again, a slice of pizza and a Pepsi, and or possibly a two-piece chicken dinner from the red and white chicken place. That is all you get on a first date from me. And again, from any other dude out here, all you gonna get is a slice of pizza and a Pepsi, or a two-piece chicken dinner, because I don't know enough about you to believe that you are deserving of that kind of experience of the Cheesecake Factory. Because again, a first date is where you find out whether or not this person, again, and I'm going to repeat it because I want people to understand, worth investing your time in, because your time is precious, and you want to see if this person is actually attracted to you based on the content of your character. You want to see if this person actually has a vibe and some chemistry. You want to see if this person actually genuinely is interested in you. And sadly, in the case of this Indian guy, he found out that this woman wasn't interested in him. No, like many of the swirlers and hashtag divestors, this woman basically was possibly only interested in this man based for his ethnicity, and was possibly thinking about getting those kids with the long Indian hair. No, she wasn't thinking about getting with this guy because she liked that guy. And this is why she went out of her way to openly disrespect him in a public place. And this is where this man basically realized that he had basically embarrassed himself and realized that he needed to cut his losses. And this is where the simp basically started to act like a man, because as he was disrespected in that parking lot, this is where he finally decided to take his respect. And he took his respect by going out here, and after she said she didn't want to go to the Cheesecake Factory, decided to start up his vehicle, drive out of the parking lot. And that's when Miss Attitude's whole demeanor completely changed, because she basically realized that she had effed up. And she realized she had effed up because she thought she was going to be able to go out here and finesse this dude into taking her to an even fancier restaurant. But this guy finally got a backbone and some stones and hard checked this woman, because when you get disrespected, you take your respect by going out here and saying, okay, you don't want to go to this restaurant, so I'm going to go home. But if it was me, again, completely different outcome. I'll leave you in that parking lot. You go find your way wherever you find it, and I'm going to go enjoy me some Cheesecake Factory. But this guy, again, I guess he didn't want to get his car vandalized, so what he did was take her home. And that is what you do to disrespectful women. You go out here and take your respect, because if she thinks that she can go out here and get better, you leave her to go get a better deal. And again, if she's on the quest for a better deal, you leave her right where you find her and let her get that better deal from whoever she thinks she's going to get it from. And you go on about your business, because if she's disrespectful like this, then the only course of action is to, again, cut your losses and keep it moving. But as I see it, again, my whole approach with this would have been, if I'm being made to wait more than 15 minutes, then it's just time for me to cut my losses, because again, my time is precious, and if somebody cannot respect my time, then I don't need to invest any more time in them. So when I look at this whole situation in this viral video, I see a guy who basically was one of these simps who thought, oh, I'll be able to get out here and go out on a date with this woman on a first date, thought that he was possibly be able to get with this woman based on her interest. But the whole thing is, he basically arranged this date on the wrong terms, and he went out here looking to give her a magical evening. But this woman was so caught up in her sense of entitlement, she didn't appreciate anything this guy did. No, she's one of these women who's been, again, watching too many soap operas, reading too many romance novels, watching too many movies like Pretty Women, expecting a guy to go out here and roll out a red carpet and give her this magical evening that simps in the 80s used to do. I mean, I remember the guys in the 80s who would put on the Pierre Cardin suit and the Florsheim boots, go out here and rent the Cadillac and take the girls to the fancy restaurants. Again, these guys would do this, but this would go out here and again gas a lot of these women's heads up and make them believe that they were entitled to more than what they deserved. And this spoiling of women basically makes it where these women become impossible, like this woman right here. And makes it so they're so impossible to deal with that they don't appreciate the little things that a man does. And this, again, ungrateful attitude makes it where most guys really just want to throw up their hands, and it's all because simps wind up spoiling women. And this woman was so spoiled, she couldn't appreciate what she had. Again, this guy went above and beyond, because most men, again, on a first date, all you getting is a slice of pizza and a can of Pepsi or a two-piece from the red and white chicken place. That's all you gonna get. But this woman, again, this attitude is just absolutely insane, and again, shatters the whole idea that, as related to the so-called swirlers or the hashtag divestors, who go out here and say, oh, the white man or the non-black man is better, but we see that they treat all of these men the same in the way they disrespect men. And they disrespect men because a lot of these women have a distorted picture of men because they never had a father in their life to model manhood for them. So they buy into the fantasies that are presented in romance novels, romantic movies, and soap operas, fantasies about men. And when they run into real men, regardless of race, they don't respect those men, because if you want to go out on a first date, again, the first thing a man is looking for from a woman is not her body, not her hair, not her skin tone. No, the first thing a man is looking for from a woman is respect. And if that man cannot get respect from the first meeting, then he has no reason to further invest any of his time into that woman, because if he cannot receive basic respect, then there's no reason to look to form a relationship with that woman. As I stated before, how you start with a woman is how you end up in a relationship with her. I go in depth on that in my book, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance. And if you're starting out on a first date like this, it's only going to get worse when you end up in a relationship with her. This is the type of woman who will never be grateful, never be happy, never be satisfied. So this is why when you see them acting like this from the first minute, this is where you charge them to the game. And that's exactly what this Indian man did. He realized that this woman basically was disrespectful from minute one, and he was way, as I see it, too patient as related to things, because any other man of character, once he's made to wait that long, that's when he's gone, and he will just basically drop a text message saying, I'm not gonna be dealing with you because you don't respect my time, and he's gonna put a period at the end of things. So I look at this whole situation as related to this viral video, and again, it shows you the spoiled attitude of the modern woman. It shows you the sense of entitlement that the modern woman has, and it shows you why guys like Ringo see women like this as recreational use, but I don't even see them as recreational use. I just see my time as too precious to waste with someone like this, and I see my time too precious to waste dealing with someone who's a problem like this, because if they're not happy with just the little things in life, then they won't appreciate anything bigger, because nothing will ever be good enough for a spoiled, rotten woman like this. Now, if you want to learn why women like this will be single for the rest of their lives, you can pick up my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find that book at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. And if you want to learn why women like this become dysfunctional like this, you can pick up my book, The Woman Crisis, on Amazon.com and paperback and Kindle format. You can also find it at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. And if you want to learn how to avoid women like this and avoid and identify their predatory behavior, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find it at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. Now, if you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can send a donation to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback. From the author of the critically acclaimed book, The Man Crisis, comes The Woman Crisis. Learn why so many women have become lost in their quest to have it all in The Woman Crisis. Get your copy of The Woman Crisis in paperback at Amazon.com and online booksellers today.
Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.